Hello, welcome to another insight from Team Innovate. This week I am joined by Craig Smith, who sits in our proofreader seat. Hello, Craig, are you there?
Hello, yes, I am. Hi.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you, Craig? What gets you going?
What keeps me going? Well, first of all, I'm Craig and I'm the owner of CRS Editorial, a company that I set up in October 2020. Um, I was kind of at a crossroads. I had just been made redundant from a publishing house that I was with for just over 15 and a half years. And though I'd previously thought about going into business, I suppose I'd never kind of had the push to do it, so that provided the push, I suppose. And yeah, that's what 3.5 years on as we chat now. So yeah, that's kind of the origins of the business. And as for me, I've just always been interested in helping people with their words, really. From a very young age, loved English and different mediums of portraying English as well. So a lot of books, as you can imagine, which has kind of gone on into digital offerings as well. So yeah, it's been an adventure.
Sounds like it, and long may that adventure continue. Now, we know you do editing, proofreading, and copywriting. I think most people probably know, or most people tend to understand what copywriting is. But what's the difference between editing and proofreading? Aren't they the same thing?
No, there are differences. So quite often I get people coming to me asking me to edit their book. And that's not to say you wield a red pen and take to it like, a teacher may do at school or anything like that. It's ultimately helping people reach where they want to get to. So there's a manuscript of a book, for example, and then in the editing process, which is always kind of done in track changes, people can see the different suggestions and recommendations that you've put forward, and ultimately an edit of which there are a couple of variations. I mean, there's kind of a plain English edit. There's a more comprehensive content edit, which sometimes involve a little rewrite with the author. Again, all these things with the end goal, the reader in mind, and how they want their book or magazine, whatever it is, to resonate. And kind of there's a copy edit as well. So that would tend to be on a slightly lesser scale. So the author has in line all the different things that they want to say effectively. It's just tightening it up. So it is just avoiding rep excuse me, I've got a frog. Let me just have a drink. It's avoiding any repetition. It's ensuring consistency across the board and clarity of message, and that the syntax is correct. The tense is the same throughout, if that's intentional. Sometimes it's not. Um, and kind of with all those three edits that I have just mentioned, the plain English, the content, and the copy edit, ultimately as well, it's raising any questions that you may have to the author, just to ensure that once those amends are implemented onto the edit, it is the most complete version that it can be, really, and just eliminating any mistakes that may have crept in, because ultimately, we can all be so close to what we do. So it's just having kind of that trained objectivity, really. A proofread kind of does cover all those elements, but they should have ideally been made at the editing stage. But there are times when I just get asked to do a proofread as opposed to an edit, which is it's absolutely fine, but it does raise more things in an edit. Um, that's not to say that if I notice something, I won't raise it, but on an edit, you tend to go into more detail. A proofread tends to occur, certainly when I've been working with mainstream publishers, a proofread tends to occur when the document has been designed, when it's been typeset, when it's been laid out. So it may well be in a PDF form. And there's a proofread that I'm doing at the moment, which is just asking me to annotate comments onto the document. So the document has been written by the author, obviously, and then it's gone through the editing stage from somebody else, and then they're just asking me to proofread it post-design. And a proofread also helps with things like any kind of little gremlins that may have crept in from the design stage. So it may be page numbers, let's say, they may have just slightly gone out from the original edited Word format through the design process and out the other side as a PDF. Or it's checking, it's almost like the last line of defense, if you think of Men in Black. I would remember that for that. It's just ensuring that like the table numbers all chronologically run on, the figure numbers, as I say, the page numbers, helps you with an index as well. If there's a big index in a book, like one particular job worked on previously, it was like 400 pages, so that required an index. And it's just marrying things up, making sure that ultimately for the full experience of the person ultimately picking the book up, the reader, that it all makes sense in a nutshell.
Yeah,
Which is a very large nutshell. I appreciate that was a long answer.
that's all right. It's a long but a very, very helpful, very informative answer. That certainly clarified for me the difference between editing and the proofreading. Thank you for that. Just to kind of finish up, because obviously we only have a short time. Um, is it just books that you work with, or other ways in which business owners and businesses can benefit from the sort of work that you do?
Yeah, it's a wide range of things. So previously worked on many different style guides for organizations, just ensuring that it's brand consistency throughout as well, and the consistency of message. There's many different e-learning offerings currently, learner platforms, whatever it may be that they're working on. It's ultimately anything with words on, to be honest with you, Keith. It's books are a big one at the moment. There's a lot of self-help and self-development books. But yeah, certainly it can on the writing side of things be interviewing people for magazine features, for blogs, for website content. And it can also be ensuring consistency across full websites as well. So from page to page to page, just ensuring that what's said on page 3 or whatever is the same as on page 1 with the terminology and things like that. So it's a wide range, really.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say, I guess websites are increasingly important thing for editing and proofing these days, as you say, just to maintain the consistency of that message across the whole site.
Yeah, definitely. And I think ultimately it's for people to kind of know their audience.
Mm.
And I think we can all be guilty of remembering that it's not about us. It's
Yeah,
about the person visiting the website, reading the website, or the book, the self-help book, whatever it is. Um, People are picking up that book, reading that website, going on this learning course to learn, to find out more information. So to be able to impart that information in a way using the kind of different wordage that is all consuming, that's engaging, that's informative, all the time, obviously, without pulling the wool over people's eyes. There's a way of doing it, certainly, I would say.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So thank you so much for sharing that, Craig. How can people find out more or maybe even get in touch with you? What's the best way?
There's a number of ways. So I have my website, crseditorial.co.uk, which has got all my contact details on. I am on LinkedIn. I am on X, formerly Twitter, and I have a YouTube channel as well. And on my website, again, that's crseditorial.co.uk, there is my Calendly link on there as well. So always happy to chat, always happy to help. And if I can put you in touch with anybody, even if I can't help, I more than gladly will do.
Brilliant. So best way to get in touch with you, Craig, crseditorial.co.uk. Find out all the details there. And thank you so much, Craig, for sharing with us a little insight into what's the difference between editing and proofreading, and to help us just to see the multiple different ways in which proofreaders and editors can help us. And it's not just about books. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks very much.